Good evening, everyone. Welcome to FGM eCast for your Wednesday evening. I'm Stuart Brown, joined by Carl with the good evening, Carl.
Good evening, Stuart. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Magic Mile here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. The very flat 1 mile oval. Going to be a tricky track tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, Carl. You're telling me some interesting stuff about this track, which we'll jump into in a minute. We are here for the third last round, penultimate round. No, third last round. We've got two to go after this one to round out the first season of the Thunder Series on ANZCAR and FGM eCast here for 2021. So just seeing Brenton Hobson there into the wall, Hobbo, and he is the one I think to beat here, Carl.
Yeah, very much so. He has been on an absolute roller slate, taking out past 4 races. He's taken out 3 victories. Jake Maloney, of course, taking out the round at Pocono, but Brenton Hobson has been absolutely on fire. He's currently got 4 victories in the series, which is a fantastic job considering new to ANZCAR and relatively new to oval racing in itself.
Yeah, so both the guys doing a good job there, Carl. So I think I chucked you under the bus a little bit there, having a sip of water or something. So apologies for that, but just got the Sim boys on screen there, just practicing their runs and squiggles and squirms. But we've got 6 minutes to go here until we do get into our qualifying. If you're joining us for the first time tonight, welcome to the stream. And of course, we would love it if you could give us a like, a share, a follow, a subscribe, or any of that combination available to you there if you're on YouTube or on Facebook. We would appreciate that. Helps us get a little bit more visibility about what we're doing here, which is broadcasting Australia's premier oval track series, or I should say series organiser, ANZCAR, the Xfinity Series, a Wednesday night series that they put on a couple of different things, and we'll have some announcements coming out in the next few weeks about what will follow this one, as well as I know the guys are working hard on and a couple of ideas there what we might do here beyond this one. But we will have solo qualifying, and then I believe it's 130 laps tonight we've got here as well. So we'll get started on solo qualifying in around about 5 minutes time. In the meantime, Carl, if you're ready, we'll go through the current championship standings.
Yeah, absolutely. 112 laps tonight, and you caught me just in the middle of coughing, so sorry about that one, folks. So, championship standings, Hamish Gallagher is in the lead. He's on 369 points at the moment. 42 points back is Ruben Phelps in second. 67 off the lead is Josh Micklemore. 86 off the lead is Kay Donnelly in fourth. Then we have Norman Clark in fifth. Brenton Hobson in sixth. Seventh is Maddie Raymond. Eighth, Troy Davidson. And 9th, Maddie Hunter. 10th is Christopher Finlay. There is barely anything covering from P10 down to P4. It is very close between those guys. Just about 25, 30 points between those guys up that pointy end of the championship. But up the top, it is looking good. You got to say for Hamish Gallagher.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's done a fair bit of good running. Mish Motorsport boys having a very, very strong season indeed across the ANZCAR championships as well. So we will see and watch tonight with interest if Tay can get another win. Of course, we are on track at the moment, but Hamish Gallagher runs a livery that does adorn itself with good old Taylor Swift.
Yeah, big fan of her music, I hear, for Hamish Gallagher. He often pumps himself up by listening to a little bit of Taylor Swift. But yeah, Mitch Motorsport have been absolutely on fire. And as always, they are the team to, pretty much the team to beat at the moment. Looking in the Cup Series, all 4 of the drivers are in the top 5, I think, at the moment in the regular season championship. So that just shows just how strong they've been this season. Don't discount people like DPR. They are always quick. You know, you've got a lot of drivers out there as well as Atori Racing, and don't ever forget Crank Esport as well. You know, got a few fast pedalers. Ruben Phelps currently sitting second in the championship. Very, very quick, and the Sim boys can always pull it out as well. They're very quick drivers. Consistency sometimes not always the key, but they are quick on their night, and they have brought out some good victories as well. We've seen Gary Wellman get a win this season. Kay Donnelly taking out a win last season as well. So we know that they can be quick on the night. So a lot of competition out there. And we'll see how this one goes for them. I think you people are having a little bit of a look at the old road circuit here as well. But Brenton Hobson, you got to say, is is very much a favourite, and this style of track's probably going to suit him a little bit. Just the short track here, it's almost a bit like a road race. It's a little bit in that respect, because you've got to be really good on your brakes, and you've got to get the acceleration right on the exit of the corner to make it work.
Yeah, and you were saying that the compound of the track here is a mixed compound.
Yeah, so we've got regular asphalt, and there's also a granite mix as well. So it's a mixture of asphalt and granite here, so a little bit different in the compounds, and you can sort of see that on the outside of the corner, that much darker sort of complexion on there, and that's that sort of slightly tougher granite material, and that tends to be very grippy and but it can sometimes chew up the tyres a little bit as well. So this circuit can be a little bit of a tyre eater if you get the back end loose, but because it's a relatively flat track as well, it makes things a little bit different to race on as well.
Well, there we go. So as always, tyre wear is going to be a factor. I've got to make sure as well that they look after the condition of the cars too. We know that that's a big factor for these guys to make it to the end and be involved in that final sort of sprint in the last 10 or 15 laps. They need to have the car in good condition to maximise the opportunity to take home the biggies. So we'll see who gets that done tonight. Good field here again, as always. 21 on track with a shorter circuit here that should still produce some really good close racing.
Yeah, that's it. It should be some really good close racing here tonight, and it is one of those tracks that does sort of encourage it a little bit, because you can run a bit side by side. The high line will probably be favoured. You'll probably see a few people taking the high line a little bit more than the low line here.
Right, and they won't obviously necessarily benefit of the speed on that. Is that just because generally that's where the grip lies?
Little bit of grip, but also you sort of tend to you don't tend to wash the tires out as much. You sort of can. It's a little bit easier on the tire wear of the car, and you get a little bit better exit speed as well. So it just makes the car a little bit less twitchy. The shorter line, taking the inside line on the corners, it can sometimes unsettle the car a little bit. And of course, you do have to turn the wheel a little bit more, which does scrub the tyres a little bit more as well. And you sort of just eat a little bit more tyre wear. And as you could just see there with Matt Hunter on the exit of the corner as well, there's a little bit less grip on that low line, and the back end will soon rotate on you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll see what goes on. It is Michael Skurlock who's fastest in practice at the moment with a 30.39, and his significant margin actually up. So we'll see what fares in qualifying. I'm assuming here, Carl, it's going to be a case of lap 1 will probably be the quicker of the two.
I would usually say lap 1 would be the quicker of the two, but guaranteed somebody's going to prove me wrong and go quicker on the second lap tonight, because that's usually what happens. So the first lap usually can be that, but getting the tyres warm is part of the crucial bit as well. So you want to have a little bit of warmth in the tyres. That temperature is 47 degrees, so they are going to heat up relatively quickly. We're going to be following Brenton West by the looks of things. So we'll jump on board here with the 113 in that very cool livery that he's got. And go for a lap around New Hampshire. So coming around the final corner here onto the start-finish straight. Get nice and close up against the wall on the accelerator, coming down towards turns 1 and 2. Going to probably take a slightly lower line at this first lap, get the car in, keep it on that low line, and then just drift it up on the exit to get a little bit more speed and easily unwind the tyres so you don't lose the back end too quickly. Coming down towards turns 3 and 4, you get close to the wall, get up on the high line. He's just taking that slightly higher line there, going to get a good run out the corner, cut down a little bit just to get a little bit more speed for the second lap. So I think West is going to try for the second lap to go for the faster one here. Might see him taking a slightly higher line here as he comes into the first corners again, and he does indeed go for that slightly higher line this time round. It's going to cut down again towards the lower line just to get a bit of better run off the corner, get a little bit more speed to get down the straights. You just want to make sure you've got as much speed as possible on these straights, because that is where a lot of the time is made up. The braking is a huge important part as well. You're braking down to around about 140 kilometers per hour from over 240 odd kilometers per hour, and you just got to get that perfectly settled in and just get it right to make it work. And looks like Brenton West has got up there in 2.
He's jumped up into P5, yeah. So you're spot on there. His second lap round was faster. And he is the first one, actually, to make his second lap the faster of the 2 laps that he's done. Edward Foster currently provisional pole, not able to improve on his fastest lap set on lap 1. Brenton Hobson the same. Josh Mickelmore just jumping up into P3. Let's jump on and have a look at Josh as he tries to get the job done here. He's done a 31.22 first time around. 31.12 is what he needs to beat. So he needs to find a 10th here on this second lap and move himself up into provisional pole position. There are still a number of other drivers out on track. Michael Skurlock just getting around for his first lap. Expect a fast time from him. Kate Donnelly hasn't done a lap. Neither has Barry Neal. So there's a number of fast drivers yet to still set a fast lap.
Yeah, Michael Skurlock just having a little bit of oversteer on his first lap. He just got the back end stepping out on him, coming across the line for his first initial lap. So that's going to cost him a little bit of time on his exit speed. But he's had a relatively quick lap. He's been using that much higher line. So the second lap is going to be his fast one, I'd say, for Skurley, because that first lap, that little bit of oversteer cost him. You can see he's using a much higher line on the entry of the corner, just cutting down on the exit of the corner to try and straight line it as much as possible, get as much speed for the straight as you can. And again, he's going to come in, take a little bit of a lower line, go mid-apex, sort of almost cutting the corner in 2, double apex of the corner almost there for Skurley. Will this second lap work out well for him? We'll soon find out. And it does indeed, jumps him up into P6.
So far, so good. Noddy Tompkins has just jumped out on track. We'll jump on board with him and see how he gets on. Matty Ray's yet to set a lap as well. So these guys are going to run out of time if they don't get out too quick. We've got 3 minutes 48 already gone through on our 5-minute time window, and that is a hard window as well. So once the clock ticks 5 minutes, it is all over here. So we'll see how we go, see whether or not we can get one in here. So you can see there's 55 seconds left. So good timing for Noddy Tompkins here. He's going to get a lap in. He'll get probably through just this one. So let's see how it works out for him.
Yeah, Tompkins still learning a bit with the series. Just loses the back end there, and that's going to cost him a lot of time. You can just see he's abandoned this lap. He knows already that he is not going to be able to get much out of that one and just clips the wall, unfortunately. But yeah, look, learning a lot, Noddy Tompkins, and we've seen him improving race after race as well. He got a very experienced team around him with SRM, so a lot of very good teammates to help him out. He's going to try for another lap, but he's probably going to run out of time on this one, unfortunately. I think just saw Brennan Hobson there, just doing a little bit of celebration.
A little bit of practice.
Just doing a little bit of extra practice there for this one. Tompkins just getting very close to the barrier, but can't make it round for that qualifying time. So that is going to give Edward Foster the pole position. We know Ed does like these short tracks. He's a bit of a short track fan, Mr. Foster, so he could be looking for a good night tonight. But he's got Brenton Hobson lining up on his right-hand side, so it's going to be tricky for him. We know Hobson's been having a great run recently. Row 2 is Mickelmore, Griffiths. Row 3 is Gallagher and Skurlock. Row 6 is Weston Clark, Norman Clark. Row 7, we've got Phelps and Davidson. 8 is Carol Walden and Williams. 9 is Finley and Cocht. 10, we have Wellman and Neal. On row 11 is Raymond and Hunter. We've got Kay Donnelly and Dylan. And Rowlock and Tompkins are going to be at the back of the grid for this one. So, going to be in for a decent race tonight. It's going to be interesting to see how this one goes. Obviously, a little bit of a smaller field tonight. Just 22 cars. Just 22 cars, Stuart. That is, it's still a really good turnout, as always. It's great to see. And on a short track like this, it's going to give quite a bit of opportunity for traffic.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a bit of traffic should give us some good, clean green flag running as well, I'm going to assume. So, looking forward to that one. Of course, it's probably fair to say we set a record. We'll say we set a record, an unofficial record, that at 455 laps of green flag running before our truck series ran on Monday night. So we're starting the record again here. That one finished very well. And let's see how we go with the Xfinity series here. A lot of experience on track. New Hampshire, a shorter run for them, but I think we're going to see some good racing here tonight indeed. Carl, who is your tip for tonight?
going to go with Josh Micklemore tonight. He's been on an absolute run recently. I think Brennan Hobson is going to be quick, but I think Micklemore is just going to be pipping him at the post. Just seeing Micklemore just having a really good run of late. Also, watch out for Scott Griffiths. Really good qualifying from him. He's been on really good form in the number 5, but I've got to say Josh Micklemore is probably my favourite this evening.
I'm going to go for a little bit of a rank outsider and give JCW the tip here. We'll see how he goes through the night. Hasn't necessarily had the fastest pace, but we'll see what happens going the outside of the number 35 JCW for the win.
Yeah, we'll see who's proven right. Usually it's you, Stuart, so I'll see if I can get one tonight. But the pace car is going to come into pit lane very shortly here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway here on FGM eCast. Wednesday Night Thunder is about to get underway. Foster leads away. He jumps straight off the start, gets a really good launch there. Foster away nice and clean there. Good jump over the rest of the field. You can see Hobson and Josh Micklemore are fighting in the background side by side, and they are going 3 wide into the first corner a little bit further down the field.
You're going to have to be careful here at the start, just as things sort them out. In fact, we've almost got 4 wide down there in the background. I think that was Christopher Finlay. It is indeed. So the 2 sim boys there, Gary Wellman, Christopher Finlay, battling for positions 14 and 15, with Wellman getting a good run there, getting a couple of positions up early on. You can see as well we've got a couple of others involved in that. Tristan Koch as well in this battle here, just up ahead of them. He's running with Gary Wellman as they try to get up onto the back of Stephen Williams. Joshua Cole-Walden looking like he had a good start, up 2 positions. Norm Clark up 2 positions as well. So a couple of early movers here. Nice clean start for everyone as we get through lap 2.
A good start from them all. One of the good things about this style of track is you can run side by side a little bit easier. It does promote a little bit of side by side racing, and without that little bit of banking to help guide the car almost, it means that you do get that little bit more opportunity on this short style track. There's bit of a contact between Phelps and Davidson there. Big moment. They managed to keep it going, but Davidson's got quite a bit of damage on the front of his car.
Around the background we go. Looks like Barry Neal there, unfortunately, getting caught out. So we'll jump back and have a quick look at that one.
Yeah, Barry Neal getting caught by Aaron Dillon there. So you can just see Aaron Dillon just getting up behind Barry Neal, spinning him around. No damage really for Neal, so that's good news. His car is looking pretty good. So that's going to help him out. The person that's probably going to help out is Troy Davidson. He's going to be able to jump into pit lane, get some repairs done. Same with Ruben Phelps if they need to get that done as well, because those two had a bit of an accident just a little bit further up, and I think Barry was just lifting off a little bit, just thinking that they might spear down the track into him. He just lifted off the gas a little bit, and then Dillon just caught him in the back. Just unfortunate. A little bit of contact there between those two, but no real damage between those cars. So the only thing it's done is just neutralised the race and just dropped Barry Neal back to the end of the pack. So luckily for him, not much damage on the car, so this is going to be good news for him. It's just going to restart the race all effectively.
Bit of gamesmanship there from Josh Micklemore. He ran right down, or basically as close as he could have gotten to the cones, and didn't end up entering pit lane. I'll just quickly go back and have a quick look at that one. It was pretty close.
Oh, this is something you're going to see a lot in oval racing, is the old who is going to fall for the dummy first. And you can see Josh Micklemore there absolutely throwing the dummy. He was really trying to fool somebody into coming in with him. Nobody took the bait though. These guys have been doing this for a long time. They're very experienced, and it's very rare you catch somebody out with that trick, but it does happen.
I've got to tell you, I was just about to announce it, which is why I was chuckling away. I was like, oh, Micklemore's going to go in, but no, just slipped the dummy and jumped out of pit lane. I thought it was a very unusual move given his position on track and the situation the race was in, but you never know. Some people try an alternative strategy, see if it might go their way. I'm not so sure that one would have worked out there. So Micklemore catching me out with the dummy. Luckily, I'm not out on the track.
So I was about to say, Stuart, this is why you stay up in the booth for this kind of racing, because you would have been caught out completely there, hook, line and sinker straight into pit lane.
Absolutely, I would have been down there wondering what I was doing, that is for sure. But no, Mickelmore stays out on track. As you quite rightly picked as well there, you did have Ruben Phelps, Barry Neal and Tristan Cock as well jump into pit lane, just get some repairs done at this early stage of the race. So they'll catch right back up onto the back of the pack there and have to make their way through from the rear.
Yeah, I think Tristan actually came in more for strategic reasons. I reckon he's come in and just chucked a bit of fuel in the car. He's got no damage on there at all, so he's just topped up the tank a little bit just to go a little bit longer in the race, so he doesn't have to do any fuel saving. So good idea there from Cock. Tristan, a wily vet in the series, and one of those drivers that I expect we'll see working his way up the field a little bit later on, and that could be a really good move if we get a good long green flag period as well. Of course, they are limited on tyres as well. So you've only got 4 sets of tyres, so the ones you start on, and then 3 more sets for the race. But the pace car is coming in. Foster's going to lead away, gets another good start. Not as good as the initial start, though, but still leads away, gets a good jump over Hobson. Mickelmore again getting a nice run down the inside. He's going to try and get down the inside of Hobson. Can't quite make it stick. Car just losing a little bit grip there. That's going to give Hobson the opportunity to get in front of Mickelmore now. And he's going to get a good run on Foster now. Just gets a little bit of the draft. Hobson going to go down the inside of Foster. He's going to try and make a move. Foster's going to sit on that outside line. He's going to get a good run off the corner. He's going to try and make Hobson go down the tight line, lose a bit of grip on the exit of the corner, lose a bit of pace down the straight, and then Foster will slide right in front of him.
Yeah, called it and saw it. It's good there. Josh Mickelmore right up on the bumper of Edward Foster there for the restart. And he just dropped off just as Foster then put down the hammer. So that little bump just not helping him out a little bit, pushing him off, and Foster taking advantage with the restart there.
Yeah, it's one of the other things, actually. New Hampshire, it's quite a bumpy track to actually drive on, and it does unsettle the car a little bit on the accelerator. You've got to be careful because it is easy to loop the car on those bumps. You go over one of those bumps, and the Xfinity car and NASCARs in general are not renowned for having the most advanced suspension geometry in the world. They're not exactly, using pushrod suspension and all of the fancy stuff. Generally, there's a spring in it, and that's about all it does. So the cars do get a little bit unsettled sometimes on those bumps, and it is a little bit tricky to drive.
Fair to say they haven't done a lot to the rear end of these things since old Mr. Ford put one together over there in Detroit. So yeah, they've got pretty basic rear end in these ones, so they don't ride the bumps that well. But of course, that's why they're there for. There as the 5 of Scott Griffiths gets up into, and no caution at all there, got up into I think that was Joshua Carroll Walden and Gary Wellman who copped some damage there, but no caution, flag out, and the racing continues.
Yeah, odd incident there, actually. It almost looked like Griffiths. It almost looked like he had a rear puncture, actually, or something's gone awry there, because it's just, that is really weird. He's locked up, or he's had a puncture or something. I think it's more of a lockup, and a bit of netcode as well involved in that one. So odd incident there for Griffiths. That was very, very weird looking. Just watching the replay there. So yeah, definitely a lockup on him. But that was an odd one. So yeah, a bit of netcode involved in that one, as well as a bit of a lockup. Yeah,
it almost looked like what you'd expect if his steering wheel just failed momentarily or something like that. He just jetted or darted up to the right. So we'll have to, if he gets up into the booth, have to ask him about that one. But at the front, Edward Foster still leading. Hamish Gallagher up 2 spots now. He is trailing and very quickly gaining on Brenton Hobson in second. He's looking for a way around him here, as we do have another caution period. Looks like Cade Donnelly's involved in that incident, along with Nathan Rawlock. So we'll jump back and quickly have a look at this one. Matty Hunter as well. So let's go back and have a look.
So yeah, JCW and Cade Donnelly getting together there with Aaron Dillon as well, actually. Aaron Dillon getting caught up in that one. Big incident. I think that's Matt Hunter there as well. A lot of cars involved in that incident.
Yeah, Matty Hunter, he got caught in the fence there, so he's going to have a significant amount of damage to that one. Aaron Dillon jumps straight into the pits. Nathan Rawlock's done the same as well.
Jump on board, Matty Raymond. Jump on board Matty Ray from that incident, because yeah, he got a very scary view. So very close here for Matty Ray. You can see here
Wow, he's just managed to...
reflexes there.
That's why his car's always so clean.
Well, it almost wasn't that clean because he very nearly had Ruben Phelps go into the back of him. I was gonna say next up, watch it from Ruben's perspective because Ruben had to put on the old brakes quite quickly with that one. It was very, very close there. So yeah, that was a scary, scary moment for a fair few drivers.
On board here with Ruben Phelps. He can't really see what's going on. Just sees Matty Ray check up as well. Oh, manages to go the right way too. So very, very close there for Phelps. He'd be happy to get through that one.
Yeah, very lucky indeed for all of those guys to get away with that one. The cars that got caught up in it, unfortunately, it's going to be very tricky for them. A lot of vehicles caught up in that incident. A lot of cars in pit lane at the moment. JCW, unfortunately, he's got caught up in... He was big one that got caught up in that one. As we said, Craig Donnelly as well, I think he got caught in that, as well as a few more of the Sim boys. Aaron Dillon, I think, maybe out. Matt Hunter has got a lot of damage to the front of his car. He's got a brand new cooling package on that vehicle, and gives you a bit of an idea of the suspension geometry with that car as well from the front now, because you can see, you can pretty much see the whole front end now. So yeah, big moment, and I think Barry Neal might have been completely taken out with that one as well. I think his race is over.
The boot's wide open as well on the 35 of Joshua Cole Walden there, so that's what the rear of it looks like. I'm going to have a look at that as well. So yeah, a couple of drivers, plenty of damage there. Matty Hunter, as you say, with that modified cooling package. Not conducive for performance, but certainly works well with the aircon. And he's a little bit of work to do now, unfortunately, in the 48. He's actually probably lucky to still be in it, to be fair. That car got hooked up in the fence, so plenty of damage on it as well.
Yeah, he'll be lucky if he doesn't have any engine damage, in all honesty, because if he's got cooling or engine damage, then that car will probably go pop in around probably about 30 or 40 laps time, but we'll see how that one carries out. Pace car is going to be coming into pit lane once more. The 53 is going to be leading away at the 54. Foster on Hobson. How's Foster going to take this start? He packs up the track. He backs up the pack a little bit there. Nice move by Foster. He did not jump at the same point, and everybody was expecting him to do exactly the same start. He didn't do it. Got a good start there, but Hobson's managed to keep on a bit tighter this time. Holding on to the back of Foster. You can see Hamish Gallagher getting a good jump over his teammate of Josh Micklemore there. Gallagher making up a position. Just behind him, you got Michael Skurlock, Norman Clark, Stephen Williams, and Brenton West working their way up. Brenton West on the inside there in the 113 Panther liveried car. Just a big shout out to Mitchell West as well, who very much helped with the making of that one. So it's nice that that livery has come on, and it's getting a good little bit of showing tonight as well, because it is a really nice looking car, that one.
There's a move on at the front here. It looks like Edward Foster just battling away with Hobbo now. Hobbo trying to get a move done down the inside. Foster just benefiting a little bit from that high line there. You can see he's just much quicker into the corner. Hobbo having to jump out of it there, and Foster comes down, retains the lead of this race. Simboys are pretty quick in the background as well. Let's go back and quickly and have a look at this. Gary Wellman, Christopher Finlay onto the back of Steve Williams, who's giving Brenton West a little bit over hurry along as well. So there's still plenty of battles going on throughout the pack here on this restart. 18 laps into 112. So keep an eye throughout the field as we do. Good thing is we've got all but one car on the lead lap still, despite all of that damage. So even Joshua Carroll Walden and Matty Hunter, who got a fair bit of damage in that last caution period, are on the lead lap. So that's still good to see.
Yeah, I think everybody that is currently running out there. Oh, JCW in a wreck with Tristan Koch. No, I'm not sure actually what's happening there. Let's have a bit of a look. JCW is in a big wreck though. He's got together with Matty Hunter. So he's just got up into Matty Hunter, unfortunately. JCW into the wall. Big impact there for JCW. And I've got to say, that is going to be his night over and done with. That engine is looking fried.
He was lucky there not to take out anyone else either. I'll just jump back and have another look at that one from the onboard.
So yeah, it looks like just a little bit earlier in that incident, JCW was running side by side with Matty Hunter, and all of a sudden he just could not get that car turned in enough. He just lost a little bit of adhesion. Car ran up wide, it got a little bit tight on him, and all of a sudden he could not turn anymore, and tapped into Maddie Hunter, and around he goes. Big accident there, and that is going to be the end for the 35, I've got to say.
Put the commentator's curse on him from the start of the race, so JCW, sorry about that one, mate. Just trying to get behind you.
The commentator's curse is coming on strong with you, Stuart. You're definitely learning well.
No, I'm in training. Like, I'm not quite, at one yet, but I'm getting close. There's,
Oh,
that is classic.
That was so close. Foster very nearly copped a penalty for that one.
Oh, we've got to go back and have a look at that, don't we?
There was a mosquito's penis between Foster and that cone there. He was so close, and he nearly wrecked Hobson as well. Watch this one. So Hobson's come in, Foster's gone to cover him off, and then you can just see there, they just go around.
Amazing. He just missed the cone there. I just want to have one more quick look at that from the left-hand front corner of Foster's car, just to see how close he got to that cone. We're on board here with Ed Foster. He couldn't have got it any closer if he tried. Could not have got it any closer. Great gamesmanship, love it.
Yeah, that's it. And as I said, this is the whole thing of playing dummies. But Foster almost got caught out, and if he had touched that cone, or if he had touched Hobson, he would have been in for a penalty there. So Foster really close there. A couple of drivers did come in. Gary Wellman, Matt Hunter, Troy Davidson and Tristan Cox all come in to pit lane, so those guys have come in again. Tristan Cock as well, he's got some damage on the car, so I think he's coming in for a little bit of repair. Donnelly, of course, quite a bit of damage, so all of those guys coming in for a little bit of repair. Splash and Dash as well, get a little bit of fuel in the vehicle too, and see how they go for the night. But yeah, that was really close. Fantastic job.
Foster will be loving that, loves the gamesmanship, so it's on between those, so it's very good to watch. Is it another caution flag? No, one to go. No, it's all good. Sorry, just
yep.
Little glitch there. I was going to say, surely not.
The good old glitches coming out to play.
So they'll form up here. The lights are out on the pace car. We're going to get ready to go green flag racing again. As we've got a couple out now, unfortunately. Kate Donnelly, JCW out of this one. They're in pit lane still, but a few laps down now. So bunching up here, Josh Mickelmore and Hamish Gallagher will be looking to get a good jump. You can see them there right up on the back of the 53. We are going around for another lap.
Yeah, I think people were just not quite. If you look down the field, there's a bit of a mess going on. I think people aren't quite set up. I think there's a little bit of shuffling going on. So the pace car's just having to stick out there an extra lap as everybody just tries to get into their positions, because iRacing is just doing its thing at the moment and just shuffling around and going, oh wait, things are in the wrong spot here. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna have to just rejigger everything, and we'll have to get this one working properly. So the pace car should peel in this lap.
Just having another think about it.
That's it. I think it was a little worried about coming into pit lane.
Joined by JCW here, Josh. Mate, I'm sorry, a big apology. I tipped you for the win tonight, and it looks like I've done everything I could to get you out of the race.
Yeah, man, yeah. At no point tonight did I really even have top 5 pace, throughout practice. I was struggling a lot. Just, I just couldn't get my head around this car. It was just, it's just so fine. So, full credit to the guys running at the top at the moment. Just, they've been able to figure it out, and I just haven't.
No, it's all good, mate. The good thing about this is there's another week and there's no repair bill on the other side of the incident. So I'm sure you'll kick on, and we'll see you tomorrow night in the Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully I'll fare better in the Cup than tomorrow night than I do than I did tonight. But yeah, I've noticed this how it's gone. Normally I have shockers in the Thunder Series and turn it around quite well. Bounce back in the Cup Series. So yeah, hopefully that trend continues.
Not the worst thing to happen. JCW, thanks for jumping in the box with us.
All right, thank you.
And Hobson has made a move for the lead on that restart. Foster just got a little bit squirrely on the entry and exit of turns 1 and 2, and that gave Hobson the opportunity to get up around the outside of Foster. Foster is now trying to get back underneath Hobson, but Hobson is running away a little bit now at the front. Managed to get a really good restart there, get a good jump, and now Foster has to look in his mirrors, keep a defence against Josh Micklemore, who's managed to jump over Hamish Gallagher. Michael Skurlock still creeping there in the background. Watch out for Norman Clark as well. Norman Clark working his way up the field nicely in 6th position. Foster's teammate in Natari, he is due for a good night as well. Hopefully this will be one of them.
So it's been a quiet night for Skirley so far. We haven't mentioned him too much, so he's just making his way up, just lurking in the background there, the Irish fiddler, or I should say the Welsh fiddler. My goodness me, I'm going to be in trouble after the stream for that one. But he's making moves here, and he's right up on the back of Hamish Gallagher in the 13. So good driving here from the 350, just quietly managing his way around this one, and yeah, in a good position at the moment.
Yeah, he's just sitting there nicely. He's not putting too much pressure on. I think he's just holding back a little bit as well, not going too hard too quickly, just saving tyres a little bit maybe. So we might see him just holding off a little bit there and not pushing. One to look out for is Matty Raymond, keeping that car as clean as ever. He's just getting past Scott Griffiths at the moment, fighting side by side. He's got Ruben Phelps coming up the inside of him as well. The 05 and the 06 at the moment are putting pressure on the 83. That very clean SRM car. Oh, so close there for Ruben Phelps and Matty Ray. But Matty Ray still keeping that car clean. But he's made it up to P10. Going to become P11 with Gary Wellman there as well. But he's working his way up from the back of the pack. So good job there from Matty Ray as always.
Yeah, and Phelpsy too. Remember, he was running down second last for a little bit at one of the restarts, so he's already made his way back up to position 9 where he started. So he's being able to resurrect his race here a little bit and doing a good job at it too, as he looks like he's going to get a move down underneath Brenton West here and move himself up one further position into P8.
Yeah, that's it. And we know Ruben Phelps is good at charging through the field, and sometimes qualifying has been his slightly weaker point in the series, but he has been nailing better qualifying results recently, and obviously he's got a lot to think of with the championship at the moment as well, being second in the championship at the moment. He wants to get up ahead of Hamish Gallagher to try and narrow that points gap, but Stephen Williams is trying to do his best to stop that from happening. You can see Stevie Dubb just sitting on the middle of the corner there, stopping Ruben Phelps from getting underneath, but now Phelps has got a sniff. He's got the front end of that car underneath Stevie Dubb. He's going to get there. Phelps on fresher tyres as well, I'd say. Phelps did come in a few laps ago, and I reckon he's changed his tyres, and that's why he's got a lot more speed out there than everybody else. So watch out for Phelps. He's going to be charging through the field on those fresh tyres. Meanwhile, there is a move position between Micklemore and Gallagher. Gallagher has managed to get up past his teammate in the Tay-Tay liveried Mitch Motorsport car, just getting past the blue and yellow Thunder of Josh Micklemore and getting up into 3rd position.
You think Skirley here will be sniffing around as well? If Micklemore's just run a little hot, he will be there and ready to jump up into P4 at the front there. The gap has just stabilised at around 3/10 between Foster and Brenton Hobson. So things here just settling down a little bit as we get into a better run following our last caution.
Yeah, they're starting to get a little bit more settled now. Obviously, the tyres are getting a little bit more worn as well. So you just go a little bit easier on the car, you're not pushing quite as hard. Just watching the lines at the moment, Hobson is running a slightly different line to Foster. It looks like his rear end's just stepping out a tiny bit more mid-corner at the moment for Hobson. So this could be a little bit of a sign of things to come later in the stint for Hobbo. We might see Foster just clawing his way back up to the front as this stint goes green. So keep an eye out for that front pack, because that battle's going to come on. Meanwhile, Ruben Phelps is absolutely charging through the field. He's on the back of Norman Clark at the moment in the 09. And he is trying his best to get up there and get up into the main fight at the moment. Ruben Phelps is on an absolute flyer.
Yeah, he is certainly lapping at a faster pace than pretty much everyone in front of him at the moment, so it won't be too long before we see him up there. Not sure how long the tyres will maintain that advantage for as well. It gives us a good indication of what to expect when we get through this phase of the race. We'll see pit stops, I reckon, probably around about lap 50, given how many cautions we had at the start of the race, but we'll keep an eye out on that one. Any idea on fuel number tonight, Carl?
And not a blues clue.
Beautiful.
So
We'll wing it.
As always, like to come in prepared. Foster just getting a big tank slapper on the exit there. He managed to keep it going though, but losing that back rear end, just stepping out a little bit. I'd probably say they'd be looking at coming in around about 60, maybe 70 if they do decide to come in for a pit stop, split the race a little bit in half, but try and go as late as possible. Obviously, when you're behind the pace car, it means that you're going to be using a little bit less fuel and you're not going to be burning up those tyres as much as you were before. But look how quickly Hamish Gallagher's catching up. He was saving those tyres earlier in the stint. He's using them up now. So a little bit like what Skurlock's been up to, or well, at least what we think he's been up to in saving those tyres. He's just sitting back a little bit, not pushing too hard. Hamish Gallagher has now hit the I'm going to go fast button, and he started to really close the gap on those front runners with those slightly less worn tyres.
And it's working out for him as well. That gap between himself and Foster closed down now to 5 tenths, 4 tenths even, as we get around here, and the gap between Hobbo and Foster has closed as well. So there's going to be it's going to be on here. It's going to stay on for a majority of this race, you'd think, with the 3 drivers involved. Gallagher, Hobson and Foster doing a good job at the front of the field here. Foster will be a little bit dirty with himself to drop the lead, but it's still early enough that he can do something about it. Of course, coming under pressure from Hamish Gallagher though, he's going to have to use a little bit of tyre to defend that, and that will affect his overall speed, of course.
I've got a feeling it's more to do with tyre heat than tyre wear tonight as well. It looks like it's a little bit more to do with the actual heat of the tyres, because I was just watching Ruben Phelps just a little bit further back in the pack, and obviously he's on a bit fresher rubber, but he is dropping off the pace a little bit because he's been charging very hard, very fast, and I think he's just put a bit too much heat in those tyres and now starting to struggle a little bit. And you do tend to get that as well when you're following another car, of course. You get that lovely hot dirty air coming off the car in front of you, and that gets on your tyres and causes them to have a little bit of problem. Gary Wellman as well also got some good speed in that car as well. So Wellman and Phelps at the moment are the cars that are on a bit of a charge. They've got some good pace in them, but watch out for Skurlock. I think he's just been biding his time, and I think when he gets a bit of a sniff of the cars in front of him starting to slow down and struggle, he is going to start looking at making that move.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there, Carl. Just looking at the way that he's driving the car, it's just not going too hard into the corner, running on that slightly wider line as well to ease the stress on the tyre. And he's doing it pretty easy at the moment. But I'm sure when he gets out of the car, he'll tell us there's nothing easy about it whatsoever. But he's making it look easy nonetheless, as we've got Noddy Tompkins and Tristan Koch in the background having an incident, but not bringing out the caution flag. We'll just go back quickly and have a look at that.
Yeah, so it looks like Noddy's just gone up into the wall and then gone back into Koch, unfortunately. So he's just gone up into the wall and ping-ponged himself into the 550 there, sadly. So a bit of a mistake there from Noddy, and say still learning with the series, still learning with the car, of course, Noddy, and still sort of learning in the oval aspect of things. So that's one of the big things, and it does take time. Meanwhile, Norman Clark has got Phelps all over him, and Phelps is going to try for that high side. Gary Wellman's on the battle as well. They're going to look 3 wide for a moment. Gary Wellman thinks better of it for the second. Norman Clark is doing a good job of defending at the moment. He's trying his best to keep Phelps from getting that position. It's side by side at the moment, but you've got to say Phelps is going to get this move done eventually. And there he goes. He's just got that position. Gary Wellman's going to be looking at and eyeing it up as well.
So as he goes shooting down the inside there, Gary Wellman gets the job done on Norm Clark. So Gary Wellman moves up as well. Got a fair gap to make up these two to get up to the behind Michael Skurlock. He's 4 seconds up the road, so got a little bit of work to do here to get into that pack in front. But they've got past Norm Clark, and now they've got the open road in front of them to do what they need to do.
Yeah, that bit of fresh air is actually going to be good for them. They're just got to not battle each other now, and that's the hard thing, is trying to get drivers not to fight each other on a track. But if Phelps and Wellman just ease it out a little bit and not pushing too hard, then they should be able to make it. But they are not doing that. Phelps and Wellman are very much fighting it out, and they do make a little bit of contact there. Wellman manages to get the position on Phelps and gets through. Meanwhile, you've got Stephen Williams making a move on Norman Clark just behind him, and you've got Brenton West there as well. Scott Griffiths, it is a big battle going on. You've got it's almost like there's a cork in the bottle of that pack at the moment, and it looks like Norman Clark might well be that cork at the moment, just a little bit slower on pace than some of the others. But they're not really running away with it. But he is just looks like he's just causing a little bit of a backup to happen there, and they're all wanting to get that fight going relatively shortly. So it's looking pretty dicey there in the mid pack at the moment, you've got to say.
Yeah, just having a look here, Michael Skurlock just dropped off the back a little bit again here as Josh Mickelmore closes up on the back of Hamish Gallagher and Edward Foster, and you've got Brenton Hobson who's checked out a little bit at the front here, half sec to the good.
Stevie Dubs just got in, just very nearly got into Brenton West there. Stephen Williams just getting a big lock-up on the left side, and very nearly made contact with West. Good driving from both of those to not make contact with each other, just to have a little glancing blow almost. Meanwhile, up the front, you've got Foster and Gallagher having a fight. Foster's been pushed wide. He's going to lose that position to Gallagher. Will Mickle will be able to make the move. He's going to try. Can't quite make it happen there.
Yeah, almost getting it done there. Micklemore very close. You're looking at having another go down the inside here of Foster. He's going to push him wide. He's figured there that Gallagher will try and help his teammate out a little bit where he can. Pushes Foster onto the high line. And Micklemore getting a good run down the inside here. You'd expect him to get it done, and he does on the entry into the corner. Moves up to the outside line to hold Foster up. He slows down. Foster tries to get the 53 nose point turned in. Down onto the inside line now to get a run on. Didn't quite get out of there as well as he could. He's going to have a dive down the inside here, you'd figure. It's just not quite far enough up to be able to do that. And Josh Micklemore makes the move as well, so he's up into third. Hamish Gallagher also up into second, and Michael Skurlock now is in the hunt to chase down Edward Foster.
Yeah, there's a little bit of Taylor Swift rubbed off on Foster's side. On the left-hand side of Foster, there was a bit of door-to-door contact with Hamish Gallagher. Those two were rubbing his racing fellas, and they were having a good little battle, and that's what caused Foster just to lose those two positions. He just got a little bit more contact from Hamish Gallagher, and just couldn't quite get the car turned in after that, and that gave Josh Micklemore the run there. But good racing between all of those guys, because that is part of the sport. You know, a little bit of touching here and there, a little bit of rubbing is absolutely allowed, and it is a necessity sometimes.
As Brenton West closes up on the back of Norm Clark, he's going to have a look at him down into turn one here. He's going to get the move done very easily down on that low to high entry, and just keeps it down there in that second lane, and off he goes. And another position gained for Brenton West as he tries to make his way back up towards the front of the pack.
Yeah, nice little run from West, and we've seen some good drives from him so far this season. Of course, new to the ANZCAR series, Brenton West, and been doing a great job. Really doing some fantastic drives, been up in the top 10, top 5 a fair few times this season, and another one of those new drivers to the series that has been doing some impressive stuff, as somebody has a little bit of a lock up front. I think that might have been Norman Clark just getting the back end, stepping out there. Just had a little bit of a moment there for Norman Clark, but he's managed to save that car, keep it going in the right direction. But I think the tyres are starting to drop away on the rears for these guys. So I think those rear tyres are just starting to drop off a little bit. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see some people thinking about coming in, possibly to chuck some new tyres on the car in the next 10 to 15 laps.
But certainly closed up at the front here. Hamish Gallagher, Josh Micklemore have made their way up onto the back of Brenton Hobson. So how long will these guys stick it out at the front there? As Micklemore just almost gets a little close there to Hamish Gallagher. A little bit of a sweaty moment, but managing to keep that one under control. And Edward Foster as well behind them's got Edward is under pressure from Michael Skurlock. So these battles out the front, there's the lead 5 cars here. And actually Skurlock's just dropped off a little bit there. It looks like Micklemore's got a little bit better pace out of the corner. He's just or through the corner there, but as I say that, he's got the slide on the exit. So it's not easy out there by the look of it. As you can see him there, just get down underneath. Just so close there to his teammate Hamish Gallagher there. There's no doubt that Josh Micklemore wants to make his way through where he can. just trying to pick his point in time to get it done.
Yeah, they're really putting the press up on Hobbo in the Synergy racing car, and really putting the pressure on there. And good job from all of those guys. And we know that Josh Micklemore and Hamish Gallagher relatively good. They know Hobson, and part of the reason Hobbo came over to give ANZCAR a bit of a try as well was on Josh Micklemore's advice. And it's good to see those guys having a good race up the front at the moment. But no team orders for Mitch Motorsport as ever. They love to race each other, and they are always trying to be the best of the teammates. They don't like losing to each other, but they are more than happy to help each other. But this early in the race, they are going to race each other hard. As Hobson makes contact with the wall, that's going to mean that Gallagher's just going to drop out of line there. He just has to make avoiding action. It's going to give Micklemore the run. Micklemore's going to have that high line here, right behind Hobson. Gallagher's going to get a good run underneath. Hobson goes to cover. It's going to be very close between Gallagher and Hobson right there. Hobson gets so close to Gallagher. This is going to give Micklemore a bit of a run down the straight now. Micklemore might have this on his teammate. Micklemore's going to cut down in front of his teammate and take second place. He's going to try and get Hobson as well. Can't quite make it this time round, but next corner, watch out for Josh Micklemore in the 31. He's going to try and get underneath Brenton Hobson, get that P1 position.
As we've got a caution, that could not have come at a better time for Brenton Hobson, just starting to struggle a little bit on those tyres. He'll retain the lead of the race, and we imagine here we will see the remaining drivers jump into pit lane and get a fresh set of boots on these cars.
We will do a bit of a surprise caution, in all honesty. Troy Davidson just getting a little bit of a tag from Matty Raymond in the background there, and that brought out the yellow flag, unfortunately. But both drivers managed to keep it going in the right direction. No major damage from either of them. So it wasn't a huge incident, but it was enough to bring out the yellow.
Amazing. It's that insignificant. It hasn't even registered it as an event on the recorder there, so can't even bring you back to where that was, because it doesn't show at all.
Yeah, it was a very light, sort of just a light tap, and Troy Davidson actually got the car under control again as well, so it was really nothing there. So yeah, not a major impact at all. So a bit of a surprise to actually see a caution come out for it, in all honesty.
And no gamesmanship there whatsoever. Everyone just trundling straight into pit lane to get the service done. So that will mean that we're through, and from here the guys will certainly be able to run to the end of the race if it does stay green. Let's see how we go as Hobbo gets out quickly. Micklemore gets out as well, maintaining his position. It looks like Skurlock may have just got the jump on Edward Foster as well in the pit lane process. So yeah, indeed he has. So change for position there. So it will be Hobson, Micklemore, Gallagher, Skurlock and Foster as the top 5. Ruben Phelps up into 6. Gary Wellman up 8 spots. He's currently in 7th. Brenton West in 8th. We've got Steve Williams in 9th and Scotty Griffiths rounding out our top 10.
Yeah, Griffiths and Stevie Dubb were basically making contact out of pit lane there. They were racing each other on the pit exit a little bit there. Griffiths just did not want to give up that position. He had his nose slightly in front, but he had to try and get onto the line, and he couldn't quite make it. So that gave Stevie Dubb the position. Just a light little bit of contact between those two guys.
Yeah, we have seen before how aggressive entries can lead to an improvement in position through the pit lane process. So all the drivers there, stationary time is pretty much exactly the same. So Edward Foster about a second longer than those in front of him, which is why he dropped that position to Michael Skurlock.
Yeah, it might have been a little bit of repair work for Foster. He might have just needed just a quick little spit shine on the car or something like that. May just not have attacked the pit box quite as much, or may have just decided to take an extra litre of fuel on board as well, just to be safe rather than sorry. So it could be, it's not over yet for sure. I mean, they should be absolutely fine on fuel, but remember, the early stages of this race, there was a lot of cautions. So if they were starting to run a little bit low on fuel towards this stage of the race, then they may well have to do a little bit of fuel saving later on, and Foster might have taken that extra litre of fuel that could give him the edge later on in this stint.
Absolutely, as they start to form up here. It is Wednesday night on FGM eCars, the ANZCAR Thunder Series, coming to you from New Hampshire. First time we've actually broadcast from here on ANZCAR as well. We've got a doubleheader tonight here and tomorrow night with the Cup Series, as we're about to see the pace car pull in. It is going to be Hobson and Mickelmore on the front row. Hobson will control the field once that pace car pulls away. And then how can Hamish Gallagher, he'll be getting a countdown from his teammate, no doubt at all. The advantage of having a teammate up at the front there on the restart. That probably won't help him too much at the moment with Hobbo controlling the field, but it will be a benefit there. They'll be able to work together as Hobbo goes straight away. Does not waste any time whatsoever in making sure that he gets on the gas in the 54 entry. Pit stops came at a really good time for him there. He was struggling a little bit for tyres, and it's bunched up right at the front there. Gallagher getting a little bit of a poor entry into the corner. That's opened things up for Michael Skurlock and Edward Foster as they now put the pressure on the back of the 31. He's going to move down to the inside. Mitch Motorsport entry with Josh Mickelmore. Try and make the move down, and again Gallagher here under pressure. He's got Edward Foster to his right hand side, and Michael Skurlock, the big gainer here, he's up into third place with two wide at the front between the 54 of Brenton Hobson, the 31 of Josh Mickelmore. Mickelmore looking to get it done there. He's really good on the entry into the corner there. Edward Foster three wide in the sandwich there with Michael Skurlock and Hamish Gallagher. And it looks like Skurlock there, touching the wall. He is the big loser out of that one. He's dropped a couple of spots. It's opened him up to Ruben Phelps as well.
Yeah, Scully, I don't think he touched the wall. He just got on the pedal a little bit too early and then just got a little bit too much wheel spin out the corner. So he didn't make contact with the wall, but he got that wheel spin and that cost him that position.
That's what happens when you assume, as Josh Mickelmore gets up into the front of this race. And he is looking to run 31.35, fastest lap of the race. Just dropped from him. Brenton Hobson falling back into the grasp of Hamish Gallagher. So this is now the battle for second place. It's where just approaching halfway through this race here. 62 of 112.
And Ruben Phelps is on the move as well. He's just got past Skirley. So Ruben Phelps just getting up past Skurlock there. So Ruben Phelps is on a bit of a charge as well. Keep an eye out for this battle. So Phelps getting a really good start there. Obviously with Skurlock just spinning up those rear tyres on that restart a little bit, that's going to add a little bit of heat to them. So it's going to take a couple of laps for them just to cool down a little bit and just get to a decent operating temperature. Meanwhile, Hamish Gallagher's making the move on Hobson. Gallagher down on the inside at the moment. They're going to be side by side for the moment. Gallagher gets a little bit of oversteer mid-corner. The back end stepping out. That's going to give Hobson the chance to get away down the straight. Hobson's going to get in front of Gallagher here. Gallagher's still got that inside line. He's going to try and make a dive for it. Gets down there once again. The back end's just stepping out a little bit as he takes that tighter line. Able to get on the power a little bit earlier this time, but Hobson on that high line can put his foot down with a little bit more ease. Keeps it up there. These two are going to be side by side for a couple more laps.
Edward Foster's got the opportunity here. He's closed up on the back of Brenton Hobson as a consequence of that battle that's going on in front of him. So he'll be just sniffing around hoping that he gets the opportunity here through one way or another to jump a couple of spots and get back up into second place. So you can see they're just closing up ever so tightly there. Foster now right on the back bumper of Brenton Hobson. Both get a good exit from the corner. Will he send it? No, he doesn't. Just not quite far enough up there. Foster to make a move down the inside and stick with that higher line. Try and stick onto the back of the 54 of Brenton Hobson as they close back up onto the back of Hamish Gallagher.
Yeah, they're keeping a nice tight battle pack going on at the moment, and the more these guys battle, the more it's going to help out somebody like Ruben Phelps, who's just sitting a little bit behind them at the moment. Foster going down the inside of Hobbo this time. Hobbo closing the door a little bit, making Foster take a tighter line. That's going to lose him speed on the exit of the corner. He can't quite get the power down the straight there. The acceleration is not there for Foster. Hobson doing a great job of defending once more, showing experience past his years there, Hobson. All that road racing experience is helping him out tonight. Obviously, Hobson a little bit fresher to the ovals than he'd want to be, and he's getting a lot of experience, and he's learning very quickly as well, doing another great job here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely is. He's a fierce competitor. So is Edward Foster behind him. And we wanted to get this move done, so we'll stick with this right behind the main fact as well. As Foster there just slows the entry, trying to maximise his exit, I imagine. Phelpsy here under pressure now from Skurlock, so this is the battle for 5th and 6th. And Ruben Phelps there just trying to make sure that he retains that position ahead of Michael Skurlock.
Yeah, really good battle going on at the moment. We've got great battles going on throughout the field. As it stands, you got to remember Phelps has got a little bit more damage on the car than Skurley as well. Phelps has been involved in a couple of little hits here and there, so that's not going to help him out too much. So that's going to give a little bit of an advantage to Skurley, and you might see as the stint goes on, Skurlock might just have a little bit more pace, because if there's a little bit of damage to Phelps's car that's causing a little bit more wear on the tyres, that could hurt him in the long run. So he might have some good short run pace, but the long run pace might not be there. You can see Micklemore is keeping a relatively good gap, about quarter of a second at the moment over his teammate Hamish Gallagher. The front two have pulled out at the moment, but the battle is for 3rd place between Hobson and Foster. Foster going up the high line this time. He's going to cut underneath Hobson this time round. So Hobson's going to go up a little bit high. Foster's going to try and go for the up and under. Can't quite make it work this time round. He's just testing the water, though, I'd say, for Foster. So he's just seeing where Hobson's quick, seeing where he can pull the grip and seeing where he's going to get the attack from. So a little bit of a probing assault from Foster at the moment, seeing where he wants to make his move.
Well, as Phelpsy got a little loose in the background there, that's going to give Michael Skurlock the run up behind him, and he does indeed chuck the 350 down the inside. It was just a little bit of early power there from Phelps. He just got him a little loose, and Skurlock ready to pounce, and has done so. He's going to move himself up into 5th position.
Yeah, nice move there. And as I said, I just wondered if maybe Phelps is just struggling a little bit with the longer runs, unfortunately. Just that little bit of damage from those few bits of contact just hurting him, just maybe for that long run pace, while Skurlock has still got that a little bit better long run than short run pace. So it looks like Skurley is better on the longer run than the shorter run at the moment. But somebody that is doing a great job with both is Josh Micklemore out in front.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hamish Gallagher going with him while Hobson and Foster battle away behind them. There's been a change for position as well. Matty Ray getting around Stephen Williams. So that's a change for position there. Matty up into the top 10 now. Good run from him. That car's still pristine, as you'd expect.
Yeah, it's. I think there's a little tiny scratch on there from that little bit of contact earlier on from Matty Ray, what he had with Troy Davidson, but barely noticeable at all. The yellow hides any scratches well on that car, but as always, you know, the panels are nicely kept clean, things like that. And the fact that Matty Ray started down in 17th position, he's up there in 10th position at the moment. 7 positions gained so far. Not the biggest gainer of the night at the moment. That's Gary Wellman in 7th. He's gained 8 positions as it stands. But Matty Ray always doing well to charge through the field, and he'll be looking at making up a few more positions. Meanwhile, Brenton West tries to make a bit of an attack on the back of Gary Wellman. Can't quite make it stick. So he's just going to have to regroup and rework out his plan for the assault on the back of Wellman. You can see that Skurley has just pulled away from Phelps. Phelps just dropping off now in that longer run pace section. So obviously Ruben's got some great short run, but just struggling a little bit on the long run.
Question is, can the battle between Hobson and Foster, who have actually caught back up here onto the back of Hamish Gallagher, they're going to hold one another up enough to get Michael Skurlock back into the battle for the lead?
Yeah, they're going to want to try and get up there, but it's just trying to get those positions now. And it's, you know, who has kept the tyres in a good operating temperature? Who's kept them in a good spot? Got to say, at the moment, Hamish Gallagher's looking good. He seems to have pace again. On those long runs, Hamish has definitely shown some really good pace. Will Hamish be able to get up past his teammate Josh Micklemore? He's putting all the pressure he can on the back panel of Josh Micklemore at the moment. Not quite making headway, but the good thing is as these two battle on, it's going to help Skurlock, Foster and Hobson close in on this fight for the win.
Oh, Skurley gets a little bit loose in the background there as well, so just doing some drifting. That won't help his cause. He won't have liked that at all. He just tries to manage the tyres, as you're talking about, Carl. So it's going to stay like this, I think, down to the wire here. And once again, it is the Mitch Motorsport pairing, Josh Mickelmore and Hamish Gallagher out in front here. And this does have championship implications at the moment. Hamish Gallagher in second place, Ruben Phelps in sixth. So just looking to see how far Phelpsy can make his way up the field. He's struggling a little bit, as you said, for pace at the moment, though.
Yeah, of course, I'm pretty sure there's a drop round involved in that as well, but the more higher finishes Hamish Gallagher can get, the better it's going to be for him. And yeah, Hamish is looking good at the moment. He's got Josh Mickelmore there as well, and Josh he's got to watch out for, because Josh is sitting third in the championship. He is 67 points down, but he is still sitting there close to Hamish in the championship. So Josh Mickelmore is very much going to want to try and get that win to help him out, to move him up a little bit in the championship. It might not get him the win, but might get him up into P2 at least. That's what he's going to hope for at least. Moving on, Gary Wellman is on a move at the moment on Ruben Phelps. Wellman getting down underneath Ruben. The 45 on the 06 at the moment, making a little bit of move, going down on that low line. You can see Brenton West going down with Wellman as well, trying to get that line, see if that works out for him. Doesn't quite work out as well. As we said, that high line tends to be a little bit better because it gives you a better straight line pace. But if you can get your nose underneath the car in front of you, you can cause them to go a little bit offline and give yourself a little bit of a run. You can see Wellman's just dropped back by taking that slightly tighter line, and that has really put him out of position, and that's given Brenton West the opportunity to try and pounce on Gary Wellman. Simboy's entry there. Will he be able to hold off a fast charging Brenton West? Watch out for Scott Griffiths behind. We've seen Scott Griffiths had some good pace as well. But up the front, it is nose to tail at the moment. It's a little bit like a traffic jam running at over 200 kilometres per hour. You've got Mickelmore, Gallagher, Hobson, Foster all in a line there. Less than a second covering at the top four.
Have a look here and see what we get up to in terms of speed there, Kay. You're talking about doing traffic jam at over 242 kilometres an hour there for Hamish Gallagher as he continues to apply pressure all over the back of his teammate. And I'm not too sure here. It's going to be a toss of a coin actually to see how this one finishes out between these two. Very good race drivers. It looks like Gallagher now trying to get a move done down the inside. He's not quite close enough yet to get that done, but he's definitely pulling the screws in on the 31 entry.
So close there between the teammates. You know, that is a pure trust thing there by those drivers, and these drivers have raced each other for a long time. Of course, Hamish Gallagher, one of the newer members to Mitch Motorsport. Of course, he joined them last this season, I think. So he was a solo runner last year, of course, for Hamish Gallagher, and he jumped on board with Mitch Motorsport. A great signing for that team, because Hamish Gallagher has come on leaps and bounds and been one of those drivers that has been absolutely flying throughout the last couple of years. And again, he is just showing that skill and speed once more by putting the pressure on his teammate Josh Mickelmore, really applying the screws at the moment. Hamish Gallagher really trying his best to put Mickelmore off, try and get up underneath them and get that pass done for the lead.
Yeah, it's sort of settled down throughout the rest of the field now. Wellman and Phelps still fighting away, 3/10 between them. And about the same again between West and Griffiths, and then we've got a fair old spread throughout the remainder of the field. Nathan Rawley and Matty Hunter actually having a little bit of a fight. We'll jump back to that one and have a quick look. You just see there Matty Hunter in that newly designed or redesigned 48 entry, missing a fair bit of the front there after an early incident, but at least having a good race back down here with Nathan Rawley just in front of him. Just a 10th between them, so good to see a couple of cars fighting. This is for 14th and 15th position.
Yeah, there are a few good little battles going on. The 98 of Stevie Dub is making a move on Matty Raymond at the moment. Stephen Williams is going down on the inside. He's going to try for that tighter line in the DPR Simrigs entry there on the SRM entry with the mobile brake and mechanical repair sponsorship for Matty Ray. Those two are side by side, but it looks like Stephen Williams is going to make the move in the 98 as he gets loose there. That's going to give Matty Ray the chance to get back on Stephen Williams, and it's going to give Norman Clark the opportunity to try and make a move as well. This battle is nice and juicy for the P10 position at the moment. They're fighting for that P10. All three of these drivers want to get inside the top 10 for the night. Norman Clark taking the real low line at the moment, trying to get underneath Stevie Dubb. Can't quite make it work. Gets a little bit of a tailspin, a little bit of tail slide, out of the corner. Stephen Williams getting good drive again. Matty Ray just seems to be struggling at the moment. This is bringing Troy Davidson into the battle as well, so it's going to be a battle of 4 cars for P10.
Yeah, he's just starting to spread there. Steve Williams just getting a little loose. Matty Ray open up the gap there now to 5/10 between them. Have a quick look as well now as Gary Wellman, I think, is caught up onto the back of Ruben Felt. Very, very close. So that gap is closing. Brenton West just a little further behind them as well. Quickly jump up the front here. It looks like Hobson now putting pressure on Hamish Gallagher.
Yeah, the battle for the lead is still as close as ever. These guys have been battling it lap after lap after lap. There is really nothing between them. Still only a second covering first to fourth position at the moment. You can see it on the actual screen. Nothing between all of those cars. The car that's losing out a little bit at the moment, you've got to say, is Foster, who's just got a little bit of an extra gap. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. That just gives him a little bit of clean air for the moment. So he can run a little bit of cleaner air on that car. Just to protect his tyres a little bit for later on in the stint. So you might see Foster coming back a little bit later. As we said, he was stationary for a little bit longer in pit lane as well. Did he take a little bit of extra fuel on board just in case that we did run green to the end? And will we have to see the leaders needing to do a little tiny bit of fuel saving? I doubt it, but there is always that chance.
Yeah, absolutely. 24 to go here now. Who is it going to be? It's going to take this one out.
Yeah, the battle is thick and fast up there. Gary Wellman just getting a little bit of a wiggle in the background. He has just had a bit of a moment, and that's going to give Brenton West the opportunity in the double 1-3. He's going to try and make a move. You can see at the front still, though, Hamish Gallagher is putting the pressure on his teammate. He is not making this easy for Josh Micklemore, as West is going to try and make the move on Wellman, going down the inside into turn number 1. The two are going to get very close here. Is there going to be contact between them? It is so close, no contact, but West is going to get good drive out the corner. They're side by side coming down the back straight. Wellman's got that high side, West on the inside. West is going to try for that late braking manoeuvre, see if he can get down there. You can see Scotty Griffiths right there as well. They're going to make door-to-door contact. Wellman just gets clipped in there. He's going to have to run a little bit higher. This is going to give West the opportunity to get a little bit better drive off the corner. These two are battling it out hard, but Wellman, I think, is going to get the position overall at the moment. West is going to have to hold back a little bit and take a bit of a breather.
So they'll still keep this battle going. Wellman there just looking to try and hold him out. West got another run on him here. Still looking, still searching. Really not the easiest of tracks to make a clean pass on either. So the number 5 is Scott Griffiths. He's looking to participate in this part of the race as well for 6th, 7th and 8th. Not quite able to get involved there, just dropping off the back a little bit. So these two close up again there, gets really close. Brenton West just having to try and pull that one around the nose. Oh, as they nearly touch there again. Just a little eager on the throttle there, I think, West, and just getting a little loose, almost getting into the rear quarter with Gary Wellman in front of him. No damage done, though. What it has done is it's allowed Scotty Griffiths to close up here. Just seems to not have the pace on the exit there. Griffith just drops off far enough. It allows Brenton West to focus on what he's going to do to try and get past Gary Wellman. Runs the
jumping
line
up to the front, Stuart. We've got a battle side by side. It's Gallagher and Micklemore. They're making door-to-door contact. They're rubbing. Those two cars are rubbing through the corner, and it's going to be Hamish Gallagher that's going to get a good drive off here. They're still side by side as they cross the line. Nothing between the two cars as they go across the line that time. Ooh, contact there from the teammates. That's knocked Micklemore offline a little bit. This is going to give Hobson the opportunity to try and make a move. Hobson on that low line. He's going to try and make the move. Gallagher's managed to get into the lead right now. Hobbo is going to want to try and take advantage of that little bit of contact, that little bit of momentum lost for Micklemore. He can't quite pounce at the moment. Will Hobson be able to get past Josh Micklemore? Gallagher, though, managing to take the lead of the race.
Good racing from those two. A little bit of a bump, but they won't mind. That was really good door-to-door running. It's what you want to see at the front of a motor race like this. Even though their teammates still very, very much competing for the race win here with 18 to go. You had to make a move. You had to get something done. Hamish Gallagher is running out of laps. There is still 18 to go, but said it a little bit earlier, not the easiest place to make a pass. Hobbo now, he's going to have to do some work to see if he can get past Josh Mickelmore.
As Gary Wellman clips the wall as he was outside of West and Griffiths, and this has given Griffiths the chance to get past. West just did it a little bit earlier. Brenton West has managed to get up into P6. He's going to try and chase down Ruben Phelps now. Will he be able to make up that position? Not too sure. We'll have to see how that one goes as the race unfolds, but the big battle is going to be on at the front right now. You can see right now Josh Mickelmore is attacking Hamish Gallagher. He's going to try for that inside line. That's going to force Gallagher up a little bit higher. He's going to lose a little bit of momentum. Mickelmore just getting a little bit tail happy on the exit. That's going to give Hobson the opportunity to get a good drive down this front straight. Hobson's going to have that high line. He should get better drive out the corner. Will Mickelmore be able to slide up in front of his teammate? They're going to be side by side again. Will we see some door-to-door action from the two teammates once more? As they battle, it's allowing Hobson to catch right up to this fight. It is a battle of three cars. There is nothing between the three of them. Josh Mickelmore just managing to get out in front. Mickelmore taking the lead for the moment. Gallagher's going to get a better run off the corner. Will we see Hobson try and throw his hat in the ring? It's going to be Gallagher crossing the line again in front this time round, but Mickelmore is really trying for that position. You can see Hobson has locked out that outside row at the moment. Mickelmore has to make this work on the inside line to get past his teammate, otherwise he's going to get hung out to dry and he could lose a position to Hobson.
Yeah, Hobbo positioning the car well there, just waiting to this effect of this battle at the front, see if he can take advantage, as you say. Boys will be aware of that as well. They'll be one eye on the rearview mirror, one eye on one another, and another eye on the front of the track. So we try to keep their eye on absolutely everything going on around them to see, make sure they maintain their position and don't cost the team a 1-2 here. But it's great to see them running like this. Really, really strong battle between them at the front of the field. And Hobbo just jogging on the spot. He's got a good opportunity here to potentially get that done, Carl, as he goes with Hamish a little bit out in the wilderness there. Hobbo trying to get the move done down the inside, trying to go with Josh Mickelmore. Should get a better run here. Hamish Gallagher, so he's able to defend himself from the attack from Hobson. And so now he'll have to keep doing that in this next lap as Mickelmore takes the lead.
Great racing at the front, side by side, nothing between those guys at the moment. Gary Wellman's just dropping back a little bit further. He's just dropped back behind Norman Clark and Stephen Williams as well. So that bit of damage on Gary Wellman not helping him out at the moment. Keeping an eye as well on Foster and Skurlock. Those guys are getting close as well for P4 and P5. The battles are starting to get a little bit closer on track as we're going to have 11 laps remaining shortly. But the battle for the lead is absolutely fantastic at the moment. Great side-by-side racing from the teammates and Hobson as well. Just keeping his nose in there, making sure these two have to fight each other, because if they ease off, they're going to lose that position to Hobson. Hobson is absolutely keeping these guys honest as it stands.
Yeah, most definitely. He's just not quite able to get through there, Hobbo. And he'll be looking every which way he can here to see if he can get it done with 11 to go. But Gallagher finishing strongly here, along with his teammate. Oh, as he just gets very close to the wall there, Gallagher. Not quite touching it, but close enough.
We've got a car around in the background.
Noddy Tompkins
has gone around.
Yeah.
Will this bring out a caution? We'll soon find out. I think we could be safe though. Yes, we are safe from a caution. Noddy Tompkins just losing that back end single car spin there, but no caution flag flown. So that's what we want to see. We want to see this race running green. You can see as well they're catching up to the back of Hunter and Rolock, who are still battling away. They've been battling away for many laps now. Those two cars having an enjoyable fight between the two of them, but they're just keeping it out the way. They're just keeping out the way of the leaders at the moment, not getting involved in that part of the race, which is great to see. Of course, you don't have to yield in oval racing. There's no such thing as a blue flag on an oval circuit. You're fighting for track position. So you're fighting to keep on the lead lap as well as fighting for other things as well. So you don't have to yield those positions, but sometimes when you see a fight like this coming up, you go, well, I'm probably going to yield this position because there's no point getting involved in a fight like this. But what it has done is it's given Matt Hunter the opportunity to get underneath Nathan Rowlock. And you can see that Matty Hunter is trying to make a move on the 85 at the moment. The damage on the front of Matty Hunter's car is holding together at this stage. But Rowlock is just able to keep his nose ahead and keep in front of Hunter for the time being.
Yeah, lap down, but still battling away. Great to see from these two. Edward Foster's got Michael Skurlock all over the back of him as they approach this battle. Foster down on the low line now, trying to get the move done around Matty Hunter as quickly as he can. Skurlock's going to try and go with him here to equally not lose time. They're going to approach the back of the 85 of Nathan Rawlock as well. So it's interrupted that battle down in the back of the pack there, but the guys trying to make their way through as quickly as they can as Rawlock opens up a gap now on Matt Hunter.
Yeah, and they've got Tristan Cock there just on the back of them. He's a fair few laps down, unfortunately, but just keeping it out there, keeping it clean, and he's on the slightly fresher tyres, so he's able to get a bit more pace than some of the other guys around him, keeping himself on the back of Mr. Skurlock. So good little run there. Unfortunately got caught up in that instant earlier in the race, but he's keeping his car up there and thereabouts, showing that he did have some pace there if he had the opportunity. Meanwhile, Brenton West has got Scott Griffiths all over the back of him a little bit further down the field. The number 5 trying to make the move on the 1-1-3. Can't quite make it can't quite make it past this time round. Brenton West doing another good job keeping that car up there. Ruben Phelps has got a relatively safe spot in P6 at the moment. Nobody really too close to him. But it's just trying to keep an eye on these battles now, because there are a few really good ones shaping up towards the end of this race. You can see now it's side by side for West and Griffiths. They are going to go side by side, and Griffiths is just going to get this one done, I think. He's just got that inside line, just managed to get that car settled, getting a position made there. Meanwhile, Stevie Dubb and Matty Raymond behind them are fighting it out as well. Matty Ray just getting up past Stephen Williams. Nice move by Matty Ray.
Yeah, Edward Foster now back in the clear air, but he has got Michael Skurlock chasing him down to try and move up into P4. So will Skurlock be able to get this done with 5 laps remaining? It'll be 4 to go now as our leaders cross the start-finish line. And still there, the gap around a tenth between Mickelmore and Gallagher. And Hobson just slightly behind them now as well. So that has eased the tension at the front as well here for Edward Foster as well. Got a nice little gap. We'll jump up the front here. Let's have a look at this battle. You can see resuming between the teammates now. Mickelmore and Gallagher right on the bumper of one another as we get through 4 laps here. There's 3 to go now. Who's going to take it out? This fight between the Mitch Motorsport boys, a fantastic battle at the front of the field. Hobbo there just waiting, just seeing, sniffing around, seeing is there an opportunity for him to get the race win here. Steal it away from the Mitch Motorsport boys, who've commanded the race lead since very early on here tonight after Edward Foster was leading from the outset. It has been a Mitch Motorsport show again. 31 of Josh Mickelmore and the 13 of Hamish Gallagher. Gallagher getting a little slow there. He's now got Brenton Hobson right on his back. So can Hobbo get something done here? 2 to go.
Is getting really close as we come towards the final few laps of this race. Hobson trying for that move, can't quite make it done there. He's got 1 more lap to go with this one. So he's going to try again soon. I think he's going to try a little bit of a run up there, but Hobson a little bit too experienced to go for the absolute dive bomb. But he has got a little bit of a gap behind him, so he can afford a little bit of a move here if he wants to try and take it, because he's got a bit of a time before he gets back to Foster. You can see Kay Donnelly there just getting a little bit in the way of Hobson, and that's going to cost him time. Hobson's going to drop back from Gallagher now, and this is going to make it a little bit harder for Hobbo to try and make a move on Gallagher. Mickelmore has got a good run at the moment. You can see Hamish Gallagher is really putting pressure on his teammate right now, but Mickelmore has got a nice advantage as they're coming into the final set of corners for the final time tonight. Josh Mickelmore is going to keep it nice and steady through the corner, just has to make it onto the straight, not too much wheel spin, and Josh Mickelmore is going to take the win. Hamish Gallagher's going to come home second with Brenton Hobson in 3rd position. Foster's going to take 4th position. 5th for Michael Skurlock. Ruben Phelps will come home 6th.
Great racing
little
there.
fight there.
Yeah, great racing there at the front. Josh Mickelmore, Hamish Gallagher, Brenton Hobson take a bow. Fantastic racing at the front of this series. And Edward Foster there just, I guess just saying cheers to Josh Mickelmore for the win. Just give him a little clip on the way through, but all in good fun there from Ed Foster 53 coming home in third. But Josh Mickelmore taking out another win. Another devastatingly strong performance from Mickelmore and from Hamish Gallagher in the Mitch Motorsport entry number 13. Those guys doing a fantastic job tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Textbook drive there. That was fantastic work from all of those guys. We saw some seriously close racing up the front. A little bit of door banging here and there, but that is never a bad thing. So great to see from all of those boys. And it's exactly what we love to see in this short track racing. So let's go through the results. It was Josh Mickelmore, as you can see, doing the burnout and looking to maybe go for a victory lap around the wrong way. Is he going to do it? Just having to reverse the car a little bit. But Josh Mickelmore taking the win. Second place for Hamish Gallagher. Brenton Hobson third. Edward Foster fourth. Fifth place for Michael Skurlock. Sixth for Ruben Phelps. Seventh for Scott Griffiths in the end. Good job for him. A good recovery for Phelps and Griffiths. They both dropped back from early incidents. Brenton West in 8th. 9th place is Maddie Ray with Stephen Williams in 10th position. Troy Davidson finished 11th with Norman Clark 12th. 13th for Wellman. 14th for Rolock. 15th for Hunter. 16th for Donnelly. Tristan Cock in 17th. Then we had Noddy Tompkin, and then a few did not finishers in Christopher Finlay, Joshua Carroll-Walden, Barry Neal and Aaron Dillon.
Yeah, good racing again tonight for the Thunder Series in the Xfinity cars. The boys putting on quite the show, so a good run indeed at 31. Looking very well at the front there. Thanks very much for the subscription, Mitchell. Appreciate it. 31 looking very, very comfortable at the front of the race. It suits it very well, that car. It's just running up there at the lead of the pack. So just waiting here for Mickelmore Gallagher and for Brenton Hobson to jump into the green one. We'll bring them up into the booth and have a chat with them all about how it was tonight. I think they're going to probably say it was a little tough driving tonight, Carl. What do you think?
I think I will have enjoyed it a little bit. I think those top three will have had a blast up there because they were pretty much side by side all race long. And I'm glad my pick won, Stuart. So finally I got one over on you.
Absolutely, you did, as we are joined by our trio now, Carl.
So we will start off with the third place man, Mr. Brenton Hobson. Brenton Hobson, Hobbo, congratulations on a top 3 finish. Well done for that job. It looks like it was pretty fun out there tonight.
It was great fun. The closer to road racing you get for an oval, the better, I think. It was good fun tonight. I really enjoyed it, and I got what I wanted out of it, because really the whole Thunder Series for me is about coming in and learning. And I learned a lot. I probably learned more tonight than I've learned for the rest of the series combined so far. So I've been struggling with the right front tyres and the oval stuff, and I murdered mine in the first run again tonight. And these guys are pretty handy on the circles. So being able to run behind them there, I learned a heap, and I wasn't quite close enough at the end to really be able to threaten them unless they went side by side and took each other out. But I mean, guys of that caliber don't really do that, especially when they're teammates. So it was good fun to watch, though, that's for sure.
It was good fun to watch from up here. I imagine it would have been just as much fun from inside the car, especially when you were battling that close with them. We saw you on the outside of Gallagher for a fair few laps, as well as battling it away with Josh Mickelmore as well, and keeping it close. But something I actually wanted to pick up on, because we did say this track might suit you a little bit more, being a bit closer to a road circuit than an oval circuit, and it sounded like that was the truth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, from my limited NIS racing that I did last year, I think this is the only track I actually got a result at. So when I looked at the schedule, I was like, that one will probably be all right as far as the ovals go. And honestly, I probably struggled the most tonight out of all of them so far, especially with trying to look after the car and whatnot. But it was a learning experience, and obviously not bad. But I did sort of circle this one. I thought it might have been suited to me a lot more than some of the others.
Now, we saw you had some good short run pace, and as you said, that first run you were struggling a little bit with that long run.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I felt like, and this has been the case for me the whole series so far. I feel like I'm not hurting my right front, and then halfway into a long run, all of a sudden I've got no tyre left, and I don't understand it. But being able to run behind these guys tonight on the shorter track, I think like some of it was a bit clearer for me to see what they're doing differently to look after their stuff. So I'll learn from that. But yeah, my short run pace was great. I had good 1 lap speed. It was a great lap by Ed in quali. That was a corking lap, and I was surprised because I felt like mine was not bad. I made a mistake on both of them in 1 and 2, but it was pretty quick, and I mean, it got me by like half a tenth or something for pole. So, I mean, I had a good 1 lap pace again, but I mean, that doesn't really help when you got 100 and something laps. You got to be good on the long run. And this series, I've said it before, and I've said it again. I'll say it again. Is really good because we actually get some of that long run stuff that you just don't really get when you're race official racing. So, it really helps those. Like, it's good for those guys that are actually good at looking after their stuff, which is what I want to learn to be better at.
That's good to hear, and it is scary to hear that you are still learning because you have been so quick this year and really bringing out some great results. And once again, up in the top 3 again, Hobbo, it is a fantastic result for yourself.
Yeah. I never know what to expect when I come in here. I mean, these two that I'm on the podium with tonight, like, I hang out with them in the Discord, and they're my mark. If I can run anywhere near these two, I'm pretty happy. But I still don't come in here expecting to be able to go with them. I mean, again, I know I've got decent 1 lap speed, but yeah, I feel like I've got a lot to learn to run with these guys, every week, especially once we step up into cup cars. I think it'll be even more prevalent, the advantage that they've got with the knowledge they have from the racing they've done. So I'm trying to learn everything I can while I'm in the car that might be a little bit more forgiving, and yeah, we'll apply it as best we can down the track and see how we shake out.
Well, that is the absolute point for the Thunder series and the Truck series, is to help everybody learn a little bit, get used to it as they come up the order, and you definitely are doing that. So congratulations again on appearing up here in the booth. It's becoming a regular spot now.
Yeah, I think I said last time, it's nice up here. I'll try and get up here as often as I can. But yeah, it was good tonight. And yeah, a shout out to the team, SSR, and to all the sponsors and everything like that, and to these two guys here, and Ed, actually, because we had some good racing at the start. It's good, clean, hard racing, and a lot of fun tonight. I really enjoyed it.
Right, thank you so much, Brendan Hobson there. P3, another good finish, and I'm sure we'll catch you in the booth before the season ends.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Hopefully, we'll be back next week.
See you then. Next up, we're going to go to P2. Hamish Gallagher, congratulations on that P2. Not an easy feat. You were pretty much rubbing doors all race long, I should say.
Yeah, that's right, Carl. Thank you. That was really intense and a lot of fun. Like, we're a little bit worried when we were practicing. The car's going to be quite tight and you just be single file, just plough in the all race. But the car came alive about sort of 20 laps in. It was really good to drive, and it was awesome to race with everyone at the front there, like Josh, Hobbo, Ed, Skirley. Like, we were all like nose to tail, side to side. It was awesome fun.
Yeah, pretty much for the majority of that green stint at the end, it was less than a second between the top 4, which just goes to show just how tight it was. And we saw yourself being side by side for majority of those laps.
Yeah, no, it was good. Like, I got into Ed a little bit of Rubbins racing, and he was okay with it, so it was all good. But if you sort of got stuck on that outside, you really needed the bottom to get the car to turn on exit, and I sort of got hung up there a little bit and sort of cost myself, but that's all right. Yeah, no, it was a good fun race.
Yeah, how nerve-wracking was it having to race so close to your teammate there towards the end?
Yeah, I would say I was sweating a little bit because of it. But in some ways it's better because I can rely on Josh. I can trust him. I know he's not going to do anything stupid or do anything sort of out of the ordinary. So you can run real close. Like, you can't run at that close for that long of a bunch like most people. Josh is one of those people you can. So that was really good.
It's great to see, and it's good to see you up here in the booth as always, Hamish. Obviously, I imagine this is making you feel a little bit more confident towards the season end. Obviously, you're sitting relatively well in the championship at the moment with those 2 wins and some really good strong finishes. I think coming into this race you had about a 42-point lead over second place man Ruben Phelps, with drop rounds still to come. That's a little bit of working out to do, of course, but it is looking good so far for championship prospects.
Yeah, thanks, Carl. I think it's like Maddie posted a score sheet up a while back with the drop rounds in it, and I think Josh and Hobbo were like right there. So all three of us are sort of fighting for the championship, I think. So yeah, it's going to come down to the wire, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be exciting, and can't wait for the final round. It's going to be pretty intense, but with your performances of late, it looks like you're coming on strong again towards the season finish. Obviously, running the Xfinity tonight, does this give you much information for tomorrow night in the Cup cars, or is that just a completely different kettle of fish?
Maybe. But I've done a bit of practice in the Cup car. Drove quite a bit differently, but that's partly what the series is about, just getting some laps, and the more laps, the better, even if it's a different car. So yeah, hopefully it'll help tomorrow.
All right, awesome. And hopefully we will get you up in the box again very shortly, hopefully tomorrow night, Hamish. But before I let you go, the usual thing of shout out and love to sponsors and people in general.
Yeah, big thanks to Ed, Skirley, Hobbo and Josh for that racing. That was really good fun. Just yourselves for the broadcast, like that little intro you've got for the Cup series, that's really awesome. I love that work. That's good. And yeah, just Ed, Dan and Matt for the work they do in ANZCAR. Really appreciated.
You're always welcome. Thank you much for the nice compliment, Hamish, and we will catch you again soon.
Thank you.
Next up, we will head to the race winner, becoming a bit of a regular thing at the moment, to say that, with Josh Micklemore afterwards. Josh Micklemore, congratulations on that win.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Man, I am sweating after that one.
It didn't come easy, did it?
No. It's funny. Edward said something about lap 70 or something, about 40 or 50 laps ago. Edward said, "You better not let him win this one easy. I don't want to congratulate him again." And then, he sure turned it up anyway. I knew he was going to turn it up. So, but yeah, that was very, very intense racing. I haven't had that hard, intense racing lap after lap for a while.
Yeah, look, the pressure that was being applied and you had to apply as well was something else. I mean, obviously you had to race quite a few people in that race. You started just down in third position, I think it was, but with those restarts, things like that, you're pretty much racing everybody up in the top five all race long. Yourself, Skurlock, Foster, Hobson and Gallagher, of course, all having a chance at having a bit of side-by-side racing.
Yeah, I was sort of trying to work out the car. I did a few laps in practice, but I wasn't happy with my performance in practice. So, it took me a little bit to finally actually get used to what this car was actually going to properly do. And then once I sort of got hang of it a bit, and then started going. But, well, close racing, yeah, like you said, with Edward, Skurlock, Hobbo, and then obviously Hamish as well. So, a few cars there. It's good fun racing, though.
No, it is great to see, and it was some great racing there as well. We saw a little bit of rubbing between yourself and your teammate there, of course, but obviously that was a good intentioned rubbing.
Oh yeah, stock car racing, mate.
So taking out the second win in the Thunder Series this season for yourself, of course. We've seen you take a couple of other wins in the other series, but obviously this must make you feel a little bit more confident. Again, talking about championship standings. Coming into the championship for the Thunder Series, of course, you're up there or thereabouts as well. So you must be sort of feeling a little bit confident to sort of get a good result at least for the Thunder Series as well this year.
Yeah, apparently we're running up there. Like I say, I haven't really been checking the Thunder Series either, but as in points wise. But yeah, we got a road course next week, so I'll have to practice a bit for that one. But yeah, we'll do all right, I think. Overall, we've had a few DNFs and internet dropouts early in the year. So, but all in all, yeah, it's been not a bad season 2 for Xfinity.
No, really good result for yourself. And as I was just saying to Hamish there as well, obviously for the Cup tomorrow night, how are you feeling going into that one?
Yeah, we had practice the other night. It was pretty solid practice. Obviously, this car is a little bit different to what we're driving tomorrow night. But we'll take a few things from tonight and apply them for tomorrow night and see what we can do. There's obviously a few guys that weren't racing tonight and Monday night as well that are racing tomorrow night. So a bit more competition as well. So, yeah, we'll see what we can do tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's it. And just got to mention it because I haven't really mentioned it too much. But currently, out of the top 5 positions in the Cup Series, it's pretty much filled with Mitch Motorsport cars. The only odd one out is Michael Skurlock at the moment. You're having a stellar season so far this year with Mitch Motorsport.
Yeah, I think first, second, fourth, and fifth, I believe. So everyone's sort of having a bit of a solid season in Cup as well from the team and that. But we did have a very roller coaster start to the year, though. But it's slowly coming together, and results are showing.
Great job. And before I let you go, Josh, the usual thing of shout out and love to sponsors and people you'd like to say hello to.
Just BK Designs, the boys at Mitch Motorsports, you guys putting on the broadcast, FGME cast, and ANZCAR as well, and Hamish as well for the close hard race and all.
No worries. Thank you so much, Josh. Congratulations again. Great work from you and the team, and I'm sure we'll get you back in the booth very shortly.
All right, cheers, guys.
Another fantastic round, Stuart. Some great racing there, all the way to the finish.
Yeah, absolutely. And just highlighting there, Carl, the Cup Series standings as well, just how strong the season is for the Mitch Motorsport team at the moment. So dominant performance. Good to see some really close racing between teammates as well. As I said, complete trust able to be given, which makes the ability to run door to door even better, because you know that the standard of driving is really high, as it is right through this series. But particularly to run that close for that long, great to see. Good to see Hobbo up there again. As I said, scary that he's still learning. That bodes well for next season for him, and Ed Foster and Michael Skurlock as well, running really well. Notable mentions to Ruben Phelps for getting back up into P6, and Matty Ray, biggest move of the night, up 8 spots to finish in 9th. So a couple more strong performances there as well. But that does bring things to a close here on FGME Cast for a Wednesday evening. We are back tomorrow night from 8 p.m. with the Cup. We're back here, and we are going to be running the Cup cars from 8 p.m. We will get qualifying out of the way before we jump on the stream. So do join us then from 8 p.m. tomorrow night on FGME Cast, your E-Place for Pace. As usual, Carl Withy, thank you for another entertaining evening, sir, and we will see you tomorrow night.
We certainly will. I look forward to it. And as always, a big thank you to everybody for joining us tonight. We could not do it without you guys watching. And if you can hit that little subscribe button, it does make a huge difference to the channel.
Absolutely. Echo that loud and clear. If you're looking for somewhere to follow us, a couple away from 200 as the milestone on YouTube. Would love to get there before the racing tomorrow night, but appreciate your support wherever you give it to us. That is for sure. That's it for us from FGME Cast, your E-Place for Pace. Have a good Wednesday evening. We'll see you back here tomorrow evening from 8 p.m. Good night.